All right, for some reason the audio didn't work on the last recording, so I'll try this again. So this is how we do it. You zoom out, and I haven't made a video for a long time, but I want to record this to see what happens for this long-term session, for this long-term result. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about right now. Okay, so you see these lines, these are the targets, these are trend lines, all of these are trend lines. If we zoom out, you can see that these are continuing that theme, these lines, these trend lines. So these are the trend lines. These are for certain time frames, time regions. This trend line was for this time region. This trend line is for this time region. This is for the maximum time region. You see it in there. So if we zoom out completely, you can see that this is since 1970. This is all of the price, and this is the trend for this time region, this piece of time region here. So there's nothing mysterious about this. These are just trends for time ranges. So this is called multi-time frame regression. These are actually regression lines. So it's called multi-time frame regression. So we can see that the price is between those two major trend lines, the two biggest trend lines that we have. Zooming in, we can see that on the biggest trend line, it recently used it as a resistance, bounced off of that resistance, and now is heading towards, the only place it can head towards is this support here, this trend line here, this target. So this is our target. Zooming more into the H4, we can see that we've got in shorter time frames, we have more trend lines of shorter time frames. Price is currently around one of those trend lines, which is this one here for this time range. Zooming in, these are not going to affect the price as much. These shorter time frames are not going to affect the price as much. You can see also this longer trend line, it used as a resistance here, resistance point. So based on that, you can see you've got a little bit of pullback here, some support, and then a resistance on those trend lines. And where these trend lines were drawn was at this range here, so this daily range. So it was on November 13 that I drew this, which is about 2 weeks ago. So you can see the effect that it has had since 2 weeks. The price has fallen. So the immediate effect it had on that price is it used the one-day trend as fell from it, effectively using it as resistance, fell from it. You got a pullback at this trend line here, sort of support, but it was not enough support, so it fell under it and then used it as resistance to the next trend line, which is here, which again bounced off it, used it as support for a while, could not get enough energy to sustain that bounce, and then used it as resistance to the next. Didn't necessarily use it as resistance. I think it tried to use it as support more, but something in the market sliced right through this region here to the next trend line, the next time range, which acted as support, and has for the last couple of days, and it's deciding, does it want to use it? Could use this as support and go back up to the next trend line, or does it want to use it as resistance? So this is the area that I'm referring to, that I want to document, is that this region here, this entire region here, is going to serve as a decision region, as a stop and reverse region. So at this point here, I would have bought expecting a potentially trying to get a bounce up to this, back up to this target here, this trend, but that didn't happen. It sliced right through the region and up to this onto this side, which activates a sell. Now, where is it going? So this whole region is acting as a boundary, if you will, a stop boundary. is now acting as a resistance boundary to this target, this trend line, which is my current position. I've got a target here, and you can see that this is a very long position. This is about 700 pips away. So unlike if I was to go up on the top side of that region, it would be about 300 pips away. So both are good risk reward trades, but this one is about 2 to 3 times more profitable. So hopefully price will support going to this target. There will be a lot of resistance to go to that target because it's a lot more money. But anyway, what I'm doing, what I want to document here is that I'm trading that this region here. I'm documenting the phenomena of this region. So these lines were created on this day here. You can see that this is a 5-minute trend line for November 13. Was created at the end of day here, which is about November 13, I think, or November 14, 0 GMT. So after November 13 completed the whole day, I drew all of these trend lines, and this is the result after 10 days. What's happened, instead of being attracted to there wasn't, and you can also see that in this region above that 1-day trend line, there was no trend lines above it in this region, right? So the only next thing it would be attracted to is this one, which apparently is just too not attractive enough. So what did it do? It became attracted to these 3 other trend lines, which it has. So what happens from there? It was attracted to these 3, more attracted to these 3 trend lines, then no trend lines, until that ultimate trend line. Will it use this as support? Will it continue back up to this nearest longer trend line? These 2 nearest longer trend lines after that. That sounds reasonable, but we also have this as a target here. So this is further away, less likely, but I'm not using that as the decision factor. I'm using this region as a decision factor. So currently it's on the negative side of this region. I have not moved these lines. I'm not moving these lines until it hits one of these targets, either this line or this line. So what am I using as a decision? I'm using this region boundary as a decision factor. It will continue to expand, but you can see that the risk reward still remains profitable, remains favorable, for the next month or 2 or however long it's going to need to take. It looks like a couple of months. It would be still be favorable after a couple of months. So I'm effectively trading this region boundary as a risk, and these region boundaries as rewards, and towards these targets as rewards. I had a buy here, a buy position, but after it ran to this side, I stopped and reversed, stopped out, and changed position. Now I'm in a sell. And you can see the sell and stop, those sizes there, those regions. Okay, so you've got the sell to stop and the target, sell to target. You can see how thin that is. Now, whether this is going to work or not, it's totally based upon the region. Okay, how many times will it change this region? So it's changed it 1 time already. I had a buy and then a sell. That's one change. Okay, so how many times will it change the region until it hits one of these targets, either this trend line, this line, or this trend line? So that's it. I'm going to keep it honest. That's what I'm documenting here, to see how many times it changed this region in order to hit this target, one of these targets.